Hi guys, Dave here from Wolf in the Wild Survival. I think we're doing episode 11 of Trailer Trash Tuesdays. And I'm coming into this video kind of in the middle of the actual video, I suppose, because I started filming and I'm cooking and I don't have like my range hood on, or you won't be able to hear me at all. And the camera lens fogged right up. So all of the video I shot up until now is completely useless. Okay, so just a quick recap, I guess, catch you guys up on what you've missed. I almost didn't get a video shot for Trailer Trash Tuesdays this week because we had kind of a heat wave roll through here, and I spent a couple of days at a friend's place in air conditioning because I just could not be in this trailer. Oh my, it was horrible. Okay. And then after that, I went way up north to my family cottage, and I spent Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days there. So not a lot of time spent in the trailer this week. And I didn't really know what to what to do for you guys. Starting to fog up again. Give me a sec. Okay. I try to keep the windows closed when I shoot videos or whatever, so outside noises don't interfere with what I'm doing. Can't really do that while I'm cooking, apparently. At least not when I'm like there's water in here, and that's probably what's gumming up the works. Okay, so while I was up at my cottage, and by the way, some of you might remember the cottage as I called it my bug out location. Somewhere way down in my playlist, I actually do a video about my bug out location, and some of you may remember that. Some of you, I mean, if you want to have a look at it, it's there somewhere. But I was there, and I did a fair bit of fishing, and I brought home some fish. So I've got what I have left after eating a fair bit. I have one lake trout fillet and two smallmouth bass fillets. And I decided I'm going to make some fish soup. And a lot of people seem to like the ramen lasagna. So, what the heck. I'm going to do a little bit more cooking here and there. And to my very, very awesome friend Billy, I am looking into your suggestion, and I think I found something really good for that next meal. But I mean, I have to do this one first. I have to cook up this fish, so it's coming. Thank you so much. I adore you. Okay. So I've got, like I say, I got 3 fillets of fish in here. I've put in some water and a shrimp bouillon, because I'm all out of fish bouillon. And normally, like today's recipes would just call for chicken stock. Traditionally, us Finns, we would take the fish heads, the fish bones, all the stuff that you normally wouldn't eat, and we would make like a stock out of that. And that's what we would use in this. I can't do that because I don't have enough fish heads, bones, kind of. I don't have any now, actually. I fed them all to the snapping turtles. But I'm all out of fish bouillon, so I have some shrimp bouillon, and that's what I've put in here. I'm having trouble finding the fish bouillon lately, actually. So I've got, I don't know, 2-3 cups of water and the fish. And I'm going to open up a can of pretty much already cooked potatoes. Sorry guys, these little like military style can openers take a little bit longer, but they are pretty handy to have around. Okay. So I have cubed potatoes here. I'm just going to dump the water, the potatoes, everything right in, which is why I didn't have a whole lot of water in here in the first place. I want to have all the starchy, potatoey goodness that was in this can. Also, I'm pretty sure they probably put some salt in here. Potatoes, water, salt, and calcium chloride. Calcium chloride doesn't sound good, but, I mean, so I don't add salt to my cooking because there's salt in there, and it helps me save on resources like that. Because in a bad situation, in a like if I were out in the middle of nowhere somewhere and I've bugged out, salt is a resource that's going to be extremely hard to get. So if I'm cooking and I have something like this, rather than use the salt that I have, just don't strain the water out of the potatoes. There you go. You got your salt and you got your potatoes. I'm also going to put some paprika in here. The recipe traditionally does not call for paprika, but I love paprika. I really do. Okay. So we got fish. We got, wow, potatoes, and we have dill, and we have paprika. I could maybe chop up like some onions, like some spring onions would be great, or some leeks would be even better, but I don't have any of that right now. I have really nothing else that would go in this sort of thing. So it's a very, very simple soup. Like, I have the 2 spices and then the fish and the potatoes. Right now it's like 4 ingredients plus water. Did I turn that up? Oops. Oh. Wrong way. Okay, I'm going to bring that up to a boil, and typically I would add heavy cream. Well, I don't have any heavy cream, but I do have coffee creamer, so rather than 18% cream, I have 10% cream. And, I mean, hey, in a bug-out situation, in a grid down, in a survival situation, you know, something like that, you use what you have available. You maximize your resources. So that's what I'm going to do today. Also, the coffee creamer that I have is lactose free because I'm lactose intolerant. Normally I drink my coffee black, but I every once in a while like to put a little cream in a coffee, especially when I first wake up and I just want to get, like a coffee into me and get my day going. It cools it down, and it smooths out the flavor a little bit. So, nah. So, yeah. Lactose-free coffee creamer. I'm going to bring this up to a boil, and then I'll get back to you guys. I got to tell you guys, for a very simple, like 4-ingredient soup, it's smelling pretty good. And I mean, I could theoretically knock it down to 3 ingredients and it would still be really, really good. Well, actually, no, because it's almost 5 ingredients with the cream. That would be just fine as it is. You can knock out the paprika and it would be perfectly good. The dill really lends a lot to it, so you're going to want to have dill in there. And the cream just finishes it off. Cream of the crop, you know what I'm saying? Okay, we're boiling good now. I'm going to take my coffee creamer. And there was probably about 1 cup there. I probably would have liked to have gone a little bit more than that, maybe 1.5 cups, but that's what I got. And this has been around for a while. I don't normally use this in my coffee, so let me see. It is somewhat close to expiration date. Another week it would have been expired. And I so rarely use it. I might as well just use it up for this now anyway. I don't want nothing to go bad. I don't want to waste anything. So, mix all that together. And once it just barely starts to hit that boiling point, I'm just going to turn the heat right down and let it simmer for a little bit with the lid off. The longer you let it simmer, to a certain extent, I suppose, the better it kind of blends all the flavors together. It thickens up a little bit too, at least it does with the heavy cream. I've never done this with 10% rather than 18% cream, but I guess we'll see. You probably don't want to I still have like the odd ant in here, and I gotta tell you, I mean, they're driving me nuts. I don't leave stuff laying around. I don't leave like garbage, I don't leave dishes a lot, like it's an inevitability that if you're living in a camper trailer, especially an old one like mine, you're probably going to be dealing with a few ants, maybe a few spiders, mosquitoes, maybe. It's a little bit of a pain, but too much. There we go. Nice and low. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I wasn't entirely honest by accident. When I started cooking this, I actually used butter as well. Normally I wouldn't do that, but the potatoes are already cooked because they're in the can. So normally I would start cooking the potatoes and I'd cook them for about 20 minutes, maybe 25. Then I would add the raw fish kind of cubed up and, sort of whatever. But because the potatoes were already cooked, I decided that I have to cook the fish first before putting the potatoes in. Otherwise they'd go super mushy and, kind of whatever. And I knew, I knew that the cream that I had was like much lower fat content, so I figured I'll cook the fish in a little bit of butter to soften it up, cook it up, and break it up. So I just took the fillets whole, threw them in, did that. So that one of the ingredients is butter for this particular thing that I'm doing now. Normally, with raw potatoes, you wouldn't have to do that. So almost forgot about that, but I have it sitting on the table right now. So thankfully I remembered. So the butter, the fish, the paprika, and the dill, and the heavy cream, coffee cream, whatever. 5 ingredients, maybe 30, 40 minutes, and you're done, you're ready to go. You've got like a really, really, really nice fish soup. That is still a bit high. Try that. You want a nice simmer. You don't want it to have too much heat. You don't want it really boiling, because you don't want anything on the bottom to burn. You don't want the fish or anything to stick to the bottom of the pan. What was I saying now? You know what? I'm gonna let this finish off, and I will get back to you guys in just a second. Okay, moment of truth. Now, I have done this basic thing fairly recently with salmon, and I've done it with trout, both lake and rainbow. It's been quite a long time since I've actually had anything like this at all with bass. Like, I'm a long time. I was one of the few lucky people to know my great-grandfather. And by one of the few lucky people, I mean a lot of kids don't get to know their great-grandparents, like they're little kids. I was 12, 13 when my great-grandfather passed away. So I got to know him a good long time, and he would do stuff like this, especially up at the cottage, like all the time. And when I say, like, the old Finns, they would make like stock out of the fish heads and bones and all that kind of stuff. My great-grandfather would hand me a bowl of soup at like 6 o'clock in the morning for breakfast, and there's eyeballs floating around in it. And I gotta be honest, as a kid, I wasn't a big fan of eyeballs. I would probably eat them now, but they're kind of gritty, kind of grainy. As a kid, they reminded me of eating sand when the eyeballs popped. And my great-granddad, he'd always like give me a pat on the back, or whatever. Eat your eyeballs, Davy. They'll put hair on your chest. So it's been a long time since I've had anything like this with bass, is what I'm basically saying. Sans eyeballs. There's no eyeballs in here. Okay. I don't want to have just all broth, so there we go. I think that's a pretty decent. Oh, that smells so good. I got to get you guys in, at least for a moment, to have a look at what I've got here. So it's not like super thick at all. It's a little bit thinner than I'm used to, actually. But that butter is kind of sitting on top. It's got that layer of fat on top. The paprika and the and the dill kind of float to the top as well, a lot of it. And it smells absolutely delicious. Like, it is a little bit of a fishy smell. It's fish, it's going to smell like that. And a lot of people are put off by the smell of fish a lot of the time, especially bass. Bass has a stronger fishy smell than a lot of other fishes do. So if you're not a huge fan of fish, especially because of the fishy smell, try it with salmon or rainbow trout, and it won't have as much as a strong smell. But to me, this looks and smells just absolutely divine. Okay. I hope this video is going to come through okay. I notice in the camper trailer the video quality really drops, and it's probably because of the lighting in here, the whole lighting situation. I do have hydro. I am plugged into hydro, and the lights in here really aren't all that bad. But the hydro that I'm plugged into is actually for the next door neighbors of my friend. Now, they did offer, and I am giving them money, which I actually have to do this coming paycheck. I have to get them that money. I am going to give them money for the hydro. But I try to use the hydro only for my fridge. I don't want to run up their hydro bill really at all. And if I can give them money for hydro, and like it, you know, it's a little bit extra, you know, kind of if I use like $25 in hydro and I give them $50, that's great, that's awesome, you know, like I want to thank them for their hospitality, their, you know, just for being awesome. So I try not to use these lights, you know, quite so much in here. The battery lights just don't really do it. So I have the hydro lights on now rather than the battery lights to shoot this video, but something tells me that the video quality is going to be somewhat low as well, and I apologize to you guys for that. Whenever I can afford a better camera and, you know, get some higher quality stuff, I will definitely do that. But I'm a small channel. I don't make money off of YouTube. I do this to, you know, to educate and help people, not really for personal gain. So probably why my videos don't get a lot of views, why they're, you know, why I'm not a super popular channel. I'm not that entertaining. But, you know, the more you know, right? Okay. Trying to let that cool down because it's still pretty hot, but wow. Oh. Easily the best meal I've had in this trailer so far. I've had some steaks in here that I didn't film. I've done some food and review videos, and that was all really good. Don't get me wrong. Like, when I turn this camera on, I'm 100% honest to you guys. I don't bend the truth. I don't, you know, lie. Like the things that I've done so far, the meals, the food, whatever. But this, holy jumpins', this is just super delicious. Now, the fish is wild harvested, but it has been in a freezer bag in my fridge for a few days now. A couple of days. More than a couple. So, not entirely fresh, even though it was wild harvested. The potatoes were out of a can, so obviously not fresh. And normally for this recipe, I would put fresh chopped dill into the soup as opposed to the dried stuff, which would be nice, but it kind of defeats the purpose of what I'm doing here. With the exception of the coffee creamer, everything that went into this soup is basically like preserved food that will last a long time. Canned food will last almost indefinitely if stored right, or it was wild harvested. The heavy cream isn't necessary, but it just makes it so much better. It really brings a lot to the table. So in a bug out situation, grid down, shit hits the fan type thing, you could do this without the cream and it would be perfectly fine. And I just thought of something that I'm now kicking myself in the butt. 1 second. Okay. Part of the reason I did this, rather than just cook the fish and, eat it, kind of whatever, I needed to use up that coffee creamer, and this was the perfect opportunity. And this is a meal that I truly enjoy. I love eating this. I don't know, whenever I can, I suppose. I could have made this entirely out of wild harvested or food made to have a shelf life. And I could have done that by using some of the powdered milk, instant milk, from Thrive Life Foods. You could use any powdered milk you want. You don't have to use Thrive Life, and it would be fine. But of all the powdered milk I've had, I mean, I grew up in the 70s, guys. Like, I've had some powdered milk in my day. This is best powdered milk I've ever had. This actually tastes like milk. Now, if I add more than, what it's directed to do so here, it could theoretically thicken up a little bit to be more cream-like. Not entirely, but somewhat. So I could have done that with this rather than the coffee creamer and had somewhat of the same result, and it would have been completely within. This is why I generally have the windows closed. I don't know if you guys hear the kids, playing outside, and not complaining, man. Let kids be kids. But yeah, this is why I keep the windows closed generally. So, with the canned potatoes, the powdered milk, the dried spices, and the fresh caught fish, with some water, this could have been a complete bug out meal without the need for, any conveniences beyond that. All of your survival food or wild harvested food could have easily done this. And if I did this in the springtime, when the leeks are out, that'd be so good in here, especially chop up the leaves. Wow, that'd be amazing. The paprika does have a little bit of dried onion in it, which is why I buy that particular stuff. So it's kind of in here. But that is something for me to try in the future, is maybe I'll make it with some of this, maybe some wild leeks, and do it up. And here I am just talk again, and I know my videos are kind of long, and a lot of you guys don't watch it all the way to the end. If you've made it this far, I mean, you know, my hat's off to you for your stamina. It's so hot. But it's so good. Okay. I gotta leave this to cool down before I eat it. It's burning my mouth. But the potatoes really, really hold the heat. You're gonna want to let this cool down for a while. So, thanks to anybody who's made it this far. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the people that watch my videos. This is not going to be, you know, like a food show kind of whatever. I know it might seem like it's kind of turning into that, and a lot of other videos have been falling to the wayside. I just have not had like a lot of time, a lot of opportunity outside of, like, you know, work, family time, you know, kind of whatever. I do have some videos that I really, really, really want to get done, and hopefully I'm going to be able to get them done this weekend and get some more videos out your way other than Trailer Trash Tuesdays. But I've also got some other ideas for the Trailer Trash Tuesdays other than cooking shows. So, by all means, guys, please stay tuned. Keep coming and visiting me. Keep checking me out. I work 12-hour shifts, and that's part of what's wrong. And we're moving into the winter time, so I have less and less daylight to work with, and that's another problem as well. So we will see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay wild.